Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Well, let's go to Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah, absolutely. Bill, the great Bill O'Reilly, mega nonfiction best-selling author. Bill, first of all, your thoughts about Lindsey Graham. What an amazing man. I'm sure you met him many times. And I think about humility, honor, and humor when I think of him.
Well, I did the last interview with him. Not a lot of people know that, but it was an hour. And we run it tonight. Just go to BillO'Reilly.com and you can punch it on up.
Beautiful. When did you do that, Bill? When did you do that?
I did it in early March, late February, right when the Iran thing was breaking. And we did it in D.C., and we talked about Ukraine, which was he was very passionate around that. And then we talked about Iran. And so he reminded me philosophically of Winston Churchill. And obviously the two different guys, you can't compare them as men, but you can compare their view of the world. And so Lindsey Graham was a hard power guy. All right. So he believed that if you want to right wrongs, you got to use what you have militarily. And so did Churchill. They both did that, and they were both branded for it by the left as bad guys. Okay? Soft power is what Barack Obama used. Okay? Hard power is now you go in, and once they reach a certain point, you blast them. I was also on a phone call, which I'd never made public, with President Trump and Lindsey Graham about a year ago. And it was at Trump's behest to talk about the increasing terror in the Middle East. And again, Graham was the guy who said, look, you got to go in, you got to annihilate them, And Trump, he listened to Lindsey Graham, but he wasn't rubber stamp him. He didn't do that. And then he would go to me, what do you think? And I tell him what I thought. So I don't know him, but didn't know him very well personally. I mean, obviously, over the years, I'd run into him maybe 5-6 times. But we do have that interview on BillO'Reilly.com. It's very instructive about his view of Iran and Ukraine and how that is working out.
You know, Bill, one of the things, when I think about Lindsey Graham, and I met him pretty early on. I went to University of South Carolina. He graduated from the law school there. So I got to know him. We did a number of events and stuff together. And one of the things I think about, Bill, is he was such a stalwart supporter of Israel. He was such a stalwart supporter of Ukraine. When he believed in something, he did not waver. And lots of stuff, of course, happening with Iran now. I don't know if you saw, but like in the last hour, they just set it up at 4 o'clock. CENTCOM announced they're starting a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. And President Trump just seems absolutely fed up with Iran. Where do you think that's headed?
Yeah, it's not so much a blockade. It's that President Trump says we're going to run it. The United States will run it. And then if you want to get a tanker through, that you'll reimburse us 20% of what your cargo is, and that will escort you through. In addition, we're going to block. You did use the right word, but we're going to isolate the Iranian ports with our Navy, so no ships at all will be able to move out of those ports. So that's the new Pentagon strategy. Will it work? I hope it works, but I just keep going back to the theme that these guys are always going to find a way to cause trouble. It's just like a serial killer.
It's tough to cause trouble when you're dead. And knowing Trump as well as I know him, rest assured, he has a very limited patience for the Iranians and for people who behave like them. The more that they start, he will destroy them, Bill. He will destroy them. He will put boats to counter theirs. He will put more ships. He doesn't care. He's going to do what's needed to be done to open the strait and to basically force them to capitulate to his will.
And that's Michael
This
Cohen.
might be the first step, but President Trump does not want civilian casualties. So I talked to him about this myself. So he said, look, if I go in and I wax their infrastructure, you're talking about AM radio and, information flow. Well, the United States can shut down Iranian information for every Persian in that country in less than a day.
I think
them
with
all
President
out.
Trump, and I know him too, I think President Trump is not going to kill civilians. That's not his tactic. He's not going to destroy infrastructure that the United States has to pay to rebuild afterwards. He is going to destroy down to the last man by air or whatever. The
IRGC.
Yeah,
right?
thank you, Rita.
See,
The
how
IRGC.
well do I know?
I got a phobia against saying that.
How well do I know John? I'm
Yes.
like, I knew what he was thinking.
And that's what he's going to do. He's going to destroy the IRGC. There's not going to be a colonel left. There's not going to be a major left. There's not going to be a general left. And that's his tactic that he's going to do. He's not going to destroy infrastructure. That's my opinion.
Harder to do that than you would think, because they are existing within the civilian population of Tehran. It's not like they were running around on a golf course someplace. So their whole structure is woven into schools and businesses in the capital city. And then Intel has got to pinpoint them. That's how the whole thing started anyway. In the first place, when Netanyahu came to him and said, look, we got them all in one spot and we can obliterate them, which happened. So let's go and let's do it. And then Trump signed off. So it's very hard to knock down their function without killing civilians. And that's what's holding the whole thing up, because he doesn't want to do that. He may have to, or at least to a limited extent, because this thing has got to wrap up. How long are you going to go with this? I mean, just today they said, we're not going to let anybody in to look at our nuclear facilities. Okay, I mean, that's the core of the whole thing. And the guy on the record comes out, the foreign minister, and says, hey, blank you, we're not going to do it. It doesn't seem to be a lot of room for negotiation off that.
Yeah, they're playing hardcore. There is no question.
Yeah,
no question, Bill.
They're basically giving us a finger.
Yep.
And now the CNN, of all people, broke a story where there's satellite imagery showing that the Revolutionary Guard is rebuilding their uranium facilities.
Yeah, there's movement there. That's a biggie.
You can see it.
Yep.
You can see it. And I harken back to all the people, and I had to deal with this myself on television, who basically told me, most of them liberal people, no, they don't have it. No, Iran doesn't have the capacity to build a nuclear weapon. I'm looking at them, I'm like, that goes against every single thing, every single piece of intel that's come into the United States of America and Israel. What you're saying. And then my cruncher, and I always have a cruncher. How do you know? And I said that on television a number of times to these people who don't want to engage Iran and all. I go, how do you know? Do you have intel?
Right.
How do you know?
Right. And why are they moving it? I mean, that right now, it's, again, another big finger to...
Why are we not striking anything that moves around there?
Yeah. Well,
we could fly over whenever we want.
Well, we have General Keane coming up. We're going to have to ask him that question. Bill O'Reilly, thank you. We love you, Bill. Thank you so much, Bill.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you.
care.